Hello everybody and welcome to my demo playthrough and teach for my solo AI variant for ANTS. So I'm going to be doing this video in one take because I do not feel like editing. And the bot's not too complicated. I do have to go in detail in the rulebook for certain situations that could come up, so I have to explain those. But for the most part, the bot is actually pretty simple to run and behaves pretty much pretty player-like. And yeah, so let's start. So setup, the bot is first player. The bot will get a board. It will get one of the leftover incubation tiles flipped face down. You'll get an anthill tile and it's starting to room. You'll place its star tokens up here just like a player. For its cubes, you'll place the pheromone cubes, but the remaining cubes you'll just place covering up these penalty spots in the food storage area, just so you don't get confused, I guess, in case you think that it gets negative points or something. But yeah, so that's how it sets up. And you will need to download and print out the action deck. So the deck has cards that on the back side show a decision card, and the front sides show the actions that it could take. So to set up the action deck, you need to set up the action row, which means you will remove one of each of the three ant action types. So we have explore, we got forage, and we need a dig. Okay, a random one of those, each of those. Shuffle up the remaining cards. Take these removed cards, shuffled, if I can, there we go. Shuffled up and placed on top, and then deal the top two to the action row. So that's how you set up the game for the bot. So let me actually just swap these decks because I kind of stacked at the top of this deck a little bit. And there we go. So concepts for the bot. Like I said, it behaves like a player, but the bot does not care about bonus icons at all. So these icons and exploration parts doesn't care. Forager space icons does not care. Leaf tile icons does not care. Card icons does not care. Now the nuptial flight track, the icons it doesn't care about except for the flight or space, which it will, or swarming space, sorry. It will potentially go over to the swarming spot, but that's the only icon that it actually cares about. Icons on its board does not care about. So pretty much everything, you don't have to care about it for the bot. So how does the bot turn work? So the first thing you're going to be doing is you're going to need to choose which one of these two action cards the bot will choose to execute to be the action for the round. So you get a little bit of an insight on what two actions the bot could possibly take. So in this case, the bot's either going to be foraging or digging. Okay, so how do you choose? So on the start of its turn, you'll flip over the top card of the action deck, and at the bottom of every card shows a left card or a right card choice icon. So what you'll do is you'll take that card and you'll displace one of the cards from the action row, matching that side, so left or right. So that means it will be choosing this action card from the action row. You displace it, bada bing, bada boom, you now have the action card for the turn. So this bot wants to do an ant action. So what are ant actions? They are the foraging, digging, and exploring. And yeah, so on this helpful bot reference card, it shows you sort of the step-by-steps that you need to take for ant actions. So first thing you need to check, if the bot has no ants on its incubation tile and it wants to dig, forage, or explore, it incubates instead. So basically, the bot needs ants to take ant actions, just like a player. So if it has no ants, it incubates. Now that's not the case. So now we go to part 2. If the bot has no ants of the chosen specialty, the bot converts one ant from the specialty with the most ants. So if this was the case, like it wants to forage but it has no foragers, it will take and convert an ant from a different specialty, the one with the most. Now you look here, this is a tie. They both have just one ant, so which one does it take and convert? Well, at the top of the action deck is the decision card, and this is basically the tiebreaker for the bot. And you look at the arrows, it shows a big arrow and a small arrow. The big arrow is basically the main tiebreaker, and the small arrow is the secondary tiebreaker. But we only care about right and left arrows for this because we want to choose a right or left ant specialty. Well, in this case, it's the right ant specialty. It would move this explorer ant to be a forager. Okay, but again, that's not the case. So we look at the next step. If the decision card shows a +1 ant icon, then it will add 1 ant from the supply to the chosen specialty. So just like a player could enhance its actions. Okay, so we look at the top of the decision card and we look at this top box that shows, oh, forage, dig, and explore. What should it do? +1 ant. Now some of these cards, that one does. Some of the cards do not show a +1 ant icon, means it will not enhance the action. So it will, in this case, because the decision card says so. So you take an ant from the supply and you place it on the forager space, okay? Then it will do this ant action at the maximum value. And yeah, so in this case, it's a strength of 2. So I always forget this. Every time it does an ant action, just like a player, it's easy to forget this as a player as well. You take an action card, or a card from the row matching the specialty of the action you just take. So since it's doing a forage, it needs to take one of these 3 cards. Well, which one? Look at the decision card. At the bottom, there's a choice of left, middle, or right. Whatever one is highlighted, this case is the left. So it takes this card and it just discards it. Does not care about these cards at all, so you just discard it from the row. Okay, foraging. Okay, what does this say? Oh yeah, there we go. I should have just kept reading the reference card. Mod takes and discards a card from the appropriate specialization row before every ant action. That's easy to forget. Okay, so it also says explore and forage priorities. Number 1, most resources gained for the bot and the fewest for you, and the spaces touching more hexes. So, bot is foraging at a strength of 2, and we look at the board. What is the main priority? Trying to gain the most resource cubes it possibly can. So we look at the board. This space will give it 1 resource cube, 0, 0. So it's between these 2. Now the second priority is spaces touching more hexes. So this space touches 2 hexes. This space only touches 1. So it places its first forager ant right there, collecting this resource cube. Now the second forager ant, if it would place it here, it would get nothing. If it would place it here, it gets 1 resource cube, so that's what it does. It takes this resource cube and takes it to its supply. And these resource cubes are not spent by the bot, they're just there to collect points. So each of these is going to be worth 1 point to the bot at the end of the game. So there you go, we just did an ant action, and that was it. Okay, a couple things I should also mention is about these star tokens. So it gets these, it places these star tokens just like a player with these criteria. So the first one with pheromones is just like a player. It will place its pheromone cubes, and once it places 3 pheromone cubes, it will place the star token on the board, filling up areas in its anthill. Also same, just like a player, but now deeds. So deeds are slightly different. So again, on the bot reference card, I placed this at the top here. The bot has 1 deed for every 2 cards of any types it has. So instead of looking at the specific card types, it just wants, so for every 2 cards, let's say it has these 2 cards, that is 1 deed. So once it has 6 cards, that will trigger this star token to be placed on the star track. Okay, so that was that bot. So now let's go to this bot and we will see what action it does. So it's choosing to take the left card action from the action row, so it will displace this left card. It wants to forage as well. So again, we look at the tile. Does it have 0 ants? It has ants. Does it have no foragers? Oh, it has a forager. Does it want to enhance? We look at the decision card. Oh, it does not want to enhance. It does not have a +1 ant icon on the decision card, so it will forage with a strength value of 1. What's the priority with foraging? It wants to get the most resources. Which space will give it the most resources? Well, this is 0, this is 0, this is 1. That's the only option. So it places it there, takes the food cube for its collection, and we see that it's cleared this hex, which means what? Pheromones get placed. So it will place this pheromone, and red will also place a pheromone. It doesn't get any bonus. And there you go. We check to see, once it places a pheromone, does it have 3? Nope. So it does not place its star token on the star track. There you go. Second bot took its first turn. So let's just keep going, and I'm just going to play this out for as long as I possibly can. Maybe I'll do the whole thing. Who knows? So, 1 take. This video is not going to be crystal, clean, but whatever. First action it wants to take is the left card action, so it displaces this card, and it wants to do an ant action of exploring. So again, we look at these helpful reference card. If the bot has no ants, oh, it has ants. Does it have no explorers? No, it has an explorer. So it's going to take that explore action at a value of 1 plus 1 because it's enhancing. So it takes an ant, places on its tile, does the maximum strength that it can, again up to 4, just like a player. So it's going to do a level 2 or a strength 2 explore. So it's placing, it wants to explore a level strength 2 place. So what's the priorities? Like I said, it wants to gain the most resources that it can and deny you the most resources. So looking at the board here, if it explores this, it gains nothing. If it explores this, it gains 1, nothing, nothing, nothing. So that means it's exploring this space, okay, getting its enemy placed out, putting the food cubes on this tile, and it takes one of them. So there you go. It just explored. Again, doesn't gain any bonuses, doesn't do anything. That's it. Oh, yeah, and then on the card, it also shows +1 on the nuptial flight track. So you move it 1 step up on the nuptial flight track, gaining no bonuses yet because it has not reached a swarming space. So there you go. Turn 2 done. Bot 2, turn 2. Which card is it going to choose? Is it going to explore or is it going to dig? Well, in this case, it's going to dig. So another ant action of digging. Does it have any digger ants? Yes, it does. Does it enhance? No, it does not. So it is going to take and discard this strength 1 digging action to dig a 1 room. So when the bot digs, it will only dig size 1 and size 2 rooms, and it's trying to complete area 1 before it starts completing area 2, and then area 3, etc. So from left to right, it places a size 1 room there, gains no bonuses, and then we check. Has it completed an area? Nope. So it does not place any star token yet. Now the bonus on this card shows +1 ant. So it's going to add an ant to one of the 3 specialties. Well, which specialty is it going to place? Look at the decision card, and it highlights one of these 3 areas, which corresponds to the 3 areas on the incubation tile. So left, middle, or right. Shows a right highlighted space. So it places an ant on the forage space. So there you go. That's the second turn for that bot's done. Red bot again. Flip over the action card to displace a card in this row. Well, it's going to do this left card action. Now, this is not an ant action. It just shows it's going to play 2 cards. So when it plays 2 cards, all you do is take 2 random cards off the top of the deck, and it places it in its area. It does not care about icons, doesn't care about requirements, doesn't care about paying for it. And every time it plays cards, again, you want to check, does it have 3 deeds? What's a deed? Look at that reference card. It says the bot has 1 deed for every 2 cards it has. So right now it has 1 deed, so to speak. And that was it. Pretty easy action for the bot. So black bot again. Turn, which of these 2 actions is it going to take? So it can either explore or it's going to incubate. So let's see. All right, so it's going to displace the right card here, which means it's going to incubate. Incubate is very, very simple. All you're going to do, add 1 ant to all of the specialties, take the cards that were played in the action pile, put them back into the deck, and shuffle up the deck. That's how it incubates. That's it. All done. Red bot turn. Which card is it going to take? So is it going to play a card and defeat an enemy, or is it going to dig? It is going to dig. So here we go. Great example here. So it displaces that card in the action row. It's going to dig. Oh, never mind. It's a fine. Not a good example yet. It does have an ant on its tile, and it does have a digger ant. It will not enhance it because there's no +1 ant icon on the decision card. So it's going to dig a size 1 room. So it digs a size 1 room. There we go. Easy as that. All right. Black bot's turn. Which of these 2 actions? Well, actually, as you see, guaranteed it's going to be exploring this turn. So which card is it going to displace? It's going to displace the right card. So it's doing an ant action. Does it have ants on its tile? Oh, yes, it does. Does it have explorer ants? Yes, it has 2. Will it enhance this action? No, it will not. So it's going to do this at a maximum that it can, which is maximum level 2. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. This is why I'm doing this video in one take, because I cannot remember to take these cards from the rows. Please don't do as I do and forget to take these cards from the rows. So it's so easy to forget, and this is just a good, helpful, harsh lesson from me, because I do not feel like redoing this video. When it does ant actions, take the card from the row. It is so hard to remember that sometimes, but yeah, there you go. It happened again. So it's taking an explorer card from this row. Which one? The left one. Golly gee, I always forget. All right, whatever. We're dealing with it. You live and you learn. You know, you learn best from making mistakes. Okay. It wants to explore a hex that will give it the most resources and give the opponent the fewest resources. So we look at level 2, because it was a strength 2 explore action. This one gives it none. This one gives it none, none, none. So there's a 4-way tie. So how does it break ties? Remember, look at the decision card. The big arrow is the main tiebreaker. So the main tiebreaker says, oh, hey, do the uppermost hex that is tied. So the uppermost level 2 hex would be this hex right here. So it explores that hex, places those cubes out on the board. I can't believe I forgot to take those cards again. Oh, I'm so mad. But it happens. You know what? It happens. It happens. It happens. That's why you should probably just follow the instructions on the reference card. It's fine. Whatever. Okay, and then the bonus on the card shows it moves up 1 step on the nuptial flight track. All right, I will not forget from now on, I promise. Here we go. Red bot. What is it doing? It's either going to be playing a card and defeating an enemy or digging. It's going to dig again. All right, great. Look, here we go. It's trying to do an ant action of digging, but it has no ants on its tile. So what does that mean? Again, look at the reference card. If the bot has no ants on its incubation tile, it wants to dig, forage, or explore. It incubates instead. So it's incubating. How does it incubate? Places 1 ant on each of the specialties, takes the played action cards and the action deck, and shuffles back up. That's it. That's how it incubates. So Blackbot's turn. It's going to do the right action. Again, you see the icon on the bottom shows the right card. So the right card, okay, luckily it's not an ant action, so I can't mess this up. Playing 2 cards. So it wants to play 2 cards. How does it play 2 cards? It will just take 2 cards from the top of the deck. It has 1 deed. Remember, 1 deed for every 2 cards it has. Okay, Red Bot's turn. It's going to incubate. Okay, so right card icon displaces this card. It wants to incubate. So how does it incubate? Places 1 ant on each of these specialties. Takes this played action card and shuffles up its action deck. Blackbot's turn. Which card is it going to do? It's an ant action, so I'm not going to forget to take those cards. It's left. Okay, here we go. Left action card, which is exploring. Okay, so it wants to explore. Is its ant tile empty? No. But here's a great example of conversion. Does it have explorer ants? No. So it will convert exactly 1 ant to be an explorer. Which one? From the specialty that has the most ants. So it's going to take this forager ant and place it over on the explorer side. And does it enhance? It does. It has a +1 ant icon on the decision card, which means you take an ant, place it as an explorer. So it's exploring at strength 2. First things first, though, do not forget to take these cards from the rows here. Which card? It wants to take the left explorer card thing. Discards it. Does not take these cards into its hand. It just discards them from the row, denying you them, I guess. So, same rules apply here. It wants to gain the most resources from this action, gives the opponent the fewest resources from this action. Okay, so which valid hexes? Again, I don't think anything's changed here. So for strength 2, it could either be this one, or this one. And yeah, so which one does it choose? We look at the arrows on the decision card. So the big arrow is the main tiebreaker. It says, hey, do the rightmost hex on the board of the, not rightmost hex, but the rightmost option. So the rightmost option is this one right here. So it's going to explore this, places out an enemy, gets those resource cubes out. And I think this guy really needs to start foraging, because this is a lot of resources on the board. And it looks like it possibly could next turn is do a foraging action. So back to the red bot's turn. And it looks like it's not doing an ant action turn this turn. It's either going to be playing cards or playing cards and defeating an enemy. Which I hope it's this one, because I can explain one of the things you need to know for defeating enemies. So let's see. It's not. It's going to play 2 cards. So we take that and displaces that card from the action row. It's playing 2 cards. You know how this works. Draw 2 cards from the action deck. So that means it has 4 cards, which means it has 2 deeds. Still has not enough to place its deed star token. Back to the black bot. And we are hopefully foraging. Nope. All right, but this is a great one too, because this is the special action card. So it's displacing this left card, which is the special action card. So what does the special action card say? So at the top of the box, it says, hey, does it have fewer than 3 ants on its incubation tile? Then it's going to incubate. Let's say, for example, it did have 3, just for the sake of explaining the rest of this card. Let's say it did have this explorer in here or something. So it has 3 or more. That means it's not incubating. So what does the next part say? So the next part says it's going to do an action based on which star token it's placed the most of. So at the start of the game, it hasn't placed any of them. But let's say it did play out like this deed star token. That means it's going to try and place out, or not try and place out, but try and progress on placing out that particular star token. But in this case of a tie, again, it has a tie. What do you do with ties? Look at the decision card. Look at the arrows. Big arrow is the main tiebreaker. We only care about rights and lefts anyways. So the right and left arrow shows the right arrow. That means it would try and work on this digging star token, which on the action card shows it wants to dig at a maximum level. So what does that mean? That means it's going to not just be able to convert 1, it's going to convert all ants that it possibly can to make this digging action the maximum that it can. Okay, so like in this case, it would convert both ants to be diggers. It doesn't enhance it, so that means it would dig at a strength of 3. So that's what that special card means. It basically is a way for the bot to work on its star tokens a little bit more intelligently. But it doesn't have 3 or more ants. It's going to incubate. So you know how incubation works. It takes its played action cards back to the action deck, shuffles them up, and places 1 ant on each of the 3 specialties. Here we go. Red bot again. It's choosing to incubate. Man, this bot is just incubating of a storm. It is really setting up for major turns. That's for sure. So it's incubating, shuffles up its deck, back to the black bot. So you can see how fast this can go. Now, they haven't been foraging a whole lot. I hope they forage this turn. If not, I'm going to force it so I can explain foraging a little bit better. So here we go. Are you kidding me? It's not foraging. You know what? Wait, it's okay, because next turn it's going to be guaranteed to forage. So, all right, we won't cheat. So it's displacing the left card in the action row. It's playing 2 cards, simple as can be. It is going to play 2 cards. Hello? Okay, there we go. Does it have, it only has 2 deeds because it has 4 cards, so it has not placed out its star token yet. Back to the red bot. Which action is it going to take? It's going to take the right action, which is digging. Okay, So it is digging at maximum, almost maximum strength. So it definitely has ants on its tile, and it definitely has digger ants. It is going to dig at a strength of 3. So again, how does digging work? It will only build level size 1 and 2 rooms, just like this, just to keep it moving horizontally from left to right. So it's going to place these 2 rooms, almost fulfilling that star condition, which is completing an area. Don't forget, though, I almost forgot again. Take one of these cards. Okay, here we go. It's taking the middle card and discarding it. What's on the action card as well? Adds an ant to the incubation tile. It really does not need to add more ants, but it certainly is building up for a big explore action right now. So, that was the red bot's turn. We're gonna see more foraging, so fantastic. Which action card does it choose? It's choosing the left one. So it displaces that one, and it's foraging. So, does it have tiles on its ants on its tile? Yes. Does it have forager ants? Yes. Is it going to enhance? Yes, it will. It's adding an ant. So it's doing a big forage, which is fantastic. So I can explain things. So remember, first priority is the space that will give it the most resources possible. And second tiebreaker is touching the most hexes possible. So if we look at the board here, it could be a lot of places, actually. Here, none. Here, none. And now if we look at this hex, for example, this would only give him 1, 1, 1, 1. But if he does this hex, that's 2. This hex is also giving him 2 resources. This is giving him 2. This is giving him 2. And, oh, this one and this one is also giving him 2. So he has a lot of options on this side of the board for gaining 2 resources. So we really need a tiebreaker here. So, because 2 is the maximum that he can get. So which space? Tiebreaker, remember, is the big arrow. So the big arrow says, hey, choose the uppermost space available. So what is the uppermost space available? We are, it could be this one or this one. Those are the 2 uppermost spaces that he can start on to get 2 resources. So we have another tie of left or right. So let's look at the tiebreaker. It's saying, hey, choose the right. Okay. So it's placing its first ant here, collecting these 2 resources. Remember, these are just points for the bot. Now we continue the string here. So it really has only one choice, which is here, because that's the one that will give him the most resources. Because if he places it here, that's only 1. Here, that's only 1. This is the only option to get him 2. So he places that there, gets 2 resources. Okay, last ant. Which space? It looks like there's only 1. Because if he goes here, that gets him 2 resources. If he goes here, that's only 1. So again, no real option here. Takes this. And this is fantastic because guess what? He is, he just cleared that, which places out another pheromone for the black bot. So which area is that? That's the green area. Is this green? Yeah. Remember, no bonuses on that. Did I forget to take the card? I did. Oh my gosh. I forgot to take the forge card. I'm never going to remember. That's okay. You'll remember, though. That's for sure, right? Anyways, so that was the forage action. A big turn for the black bot. Finally, I mean, they were setting up all these resources on the board. It was about time for them to take it. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so red bot's turn. Gonna place this out, choosing the left action card from the action row, which is, okay, great, playing a card, defeating an enemy. So, playing a card, you know how that works. Just take the top card of the deck, and it has 5. It almost has enough to place its star token. It's gonna defeat an enemy. So, there is one rule here with defeating enemies. And again, look at the reference card. It says, the bot can, at the very, very bottom, the bot can only defeat difficulty 1 enemies until it has placed at least 1 star token onto the star track. So the bot is superficially limited towards defeating level 1 enemies until it's placed a star token. So if we look at the board, It follows normal player rules. Remember, you can only defeat enemies from places where it has explorer ants. So there's only one option here, which is this, and that is well above a level 1. So he's not defeating an enemy at all. So we continue on, and he's going 2 steps up the nuptial flight track. So here we go. When it reaches a swarming space, remember, all bonuses he does not care about except for the swarming bonus. So we look at the decision card. Is it going to move to the left? Look at the decision arrow, and it shows a leftward facing arrow, which means, yep, it certainly is going to move over and take that spot on the nuptial flight track. So there you go. That's how it's doing that. And I think that's all the weird exceptions to rules and stuff I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, let's just play this out. They're taking a while to put out these star tokens, but it's going to explode very soon. Here we go. Blackbot's turn. It's doing the left card action, which is digging. Okay, look on this board. Does it have ants? Yes. Does it have digger ants? Yes. Does it enhance? No. So first, before we forget, because we all forget, take a card from the row. Discard it. And it's going to dig level 2, or how do I say level 2? It's strength 2. Strength 2 digging action. So it takes a 2-size room, places it on there, and remember the bonus here says +1 ant anywhere on its incubation tile. Which space? Middle space. So take that ant, place it on the middle space. Bada bing, bada boom. That's that bot's turn done. So, red bot's turn. Which one is it going to do? Aha! Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is great. This is fantastic. It is doing the special action card. And it has way more ants than it can possibly imagine on its incubation tile. So it is not incubating this turn. So, which star token has it placed the most of? They're all equal. So it's a tie. So how do you break ties? Look at the decision card. It's saying, hey, choose the rightmost star token on its board, which is deeds. So that means, if we look at the action card here, if it's choosing deeds, play 2 cards. So here we go. It takes the top 2 cards of the action deck. And look at what we have here. There's, remember, 1 deed for every 2 cards. It has more than 2. Or, I guess, that does have only 3 deeds. It has 3 deeds. Places this star token on the star track. So the game is accelerating. It'll accelerate pretty fast, I'd imagine, because I feel like these pheromone cubes are about to be whipped out on the board real fast. So, Blackbot's turn. Yeah, okay. It is taking the right action here, which is foraging. Look at the action tile. Does it have no ants? No, it has ants. Does it have any foragers? No. So it will convert this one explorer to be a forager. Does it enhance? No. Blackbot has not been enhancing. It's pretty, that's one of the main factors of some variability on how difficult the bot can be, is how many times is it going to enhance? And so this bot, I mean, it still might score really well, but it's certainly not enhancing its actions. So it's foraging at 1. Don't forget, take that card, because I certainly forgot, as you could tell, this whole game. But I'm not re-recording this, I swear. Because like I said, I'm doing this in one take. Okay, hexes, or spaces that give it the most resources. Well, it looks like there's only 2 that will give it the most resources, which is 2 resources. So either one of these. Which space does it do? Big arrow says bottom, so it's going to do the bottommost space that it can. So it'll be this one. Takes these cubes. It's cleared a hex, which means it places a pheromone cube, which is its 3rd. I told you these pheromones are going to be coming out. So it has achieved its pheromone star token criteria, which is 3 pheromones. Places its star token out, and that's that. All right, red bot. It is taking the left action card. It's going to dig. Oh my gosh, with this bot, it's so funky. No digger ants, so it will convert. Remember, when it converts, it takes an ant from the one with the most. So it'll take this explorer, make it a digger ant, and it does a strength 1 dig because it is not enhancing it. So Takes a size 1 room, places it here, and look at what you know. It is, I told you these star tokens are going to explode. It's placing its completed area star token on the board. Oh, I don't know if you caught it, but I forgot to take that card again. Take the rightmost dig card, discard it. And the bonus on this action card is placing an ant somewhere on its incubation tile, where it's going to place it on the forager space, or forager specialty. Black bot's turn. It's going to, okay, play a card and defeat an enemy, potentially. So it's going to play a card, so it just takes a random card from the deck. It's going to defeat an enemy. So remember, the limit was level 1 enemies until it's placed a star token. Well, it just placed its star token, which means it can defeat any enemy that it can. And again, just like a player, only in areas where it has explorers. So it could defeat the one of these two or this one. There's a tie. What do we do with ties? Look at the decision card and see the big arrow. Big arrow says, hey, take the rightmost enemy. So the rightmost enemy is this little cute froggy, and it just takes it. It doesn't need any requirements or anything. It just takes it, place it in its supply. Don't place it on its anthill board in case you get confused as to whether it's gaining bonuses or stuff. So just place it nearby. So these will score at 1 point, just like the cubes at the end of the game. What's the last thing on this card? It goes 2 steps up, the nuptial flight track, which means it's at a swarming space. What does it do at a swarming space? Look at the action card, or the decision card. Does there have a leftward facing arrow? Nope. So that means it is not going over to the swarming space, which is probably a good idea because it's only worth 1 point to it. But yeah, that was that action. Back to the red bot, taking the right action card from the action row, play a card to defeat an enemy. So takes a random card, which is its 8th, which means it has 4 deeds, not quite enough for 5. Now it's going to be able to defeat any enemy, because it did place out star tokens, so it'll defeat any enemy that it can. It only has 2 choices, which is one of these 2. Which one does it take? Look at the decision card. Big arrow says rightward, the rightmost one. Rightmost one is this weird millipede. So it takes it, places it in its area, and goes 2 steps up the nuptial flight track. Beep, beep. Nice. Blackbot's turn. I'm going to go fast. Here we go. It is exploring. It had no choice. It was either exploring or exploring. So, does it have ants on its tile? Yes. Does it have explorer ants? Yes, it does. Will it enhance? Yes, it does. So it's enhancing. It's placing an ant there. It's taking a strength 2 explore action. Don't forget, take that card from the action row. Discard it. Boom. Nice. It's level 2 or strength 2. All right, well, there's only 2 options here. And remember, it wants to gain the most resources it can, giving you the fewest. And both of these looks like it's not getting any resources from it. So it's a tie. And so we break the tie. Bottommost option, which is this one. So it places it there, gets an enemy out, gets the cubes out. Boom, boom, boom. And there we go. It did that. No resources have been gathered. Red bot, taking the left action. And that's forage. All right, here we go. This is a big action. Does it have ants? Yes. Does it have foragers? Yes. Does it enhance? Yes. So it places another ant here. But just like a player, it can only do max 4. So it'll discard, or not discard, but it'll use these 4 ants. Don't forget, it's an ant action. Take a card from the row. Boom. See, I'm remembering now. It just takes some practice. Forage. Spaces that give it the most resources. And spaces touching the most hexes. So let's look. Looks like this area is the one that will give it the most resources. So going here or here will be 2 resources for the bot. And that's pretty much it. So which one of these 2 spaces does it use? They both touch the same amount of hexes. They both touch 3 hexes. So let's look at the arrow. It says, hey, leftward option. That one. Boom, boom, boom. Hopefully you're following all this. I'm trying to go as fast as I can and not edit the video. Okay, second one. Remember, it wants to gain the most resources it can. So it's either going to be here or here for the next one. If it goes here, that's 0. So it's either going to be this one or this one. Which one? Again, it's going to the left. So it wants to take the leftmost space. Takes this resource cube. Next one, there is only one option here, which is this space. Okay, takes this resource. And again, there's only one option. It is moving here. So it is cleared. Oh, it already is cleared. Oh, wait. I forgot to do this. Oh, wait. No, that happened this turn. It gets a pheromone out because it cleared this hex tile. So it's placing its second pheromone out. So still not enough for the star token. And I think that was it. Hopefully I'm not messing up. All right, Blackbot's turn. It is doing the left action choice, which is another explore, but has no ants on its incubation tile, which means it incubates. So put 3 ants out, take the played action cards into the action deck and shuffle it up. That's its turn. Red bot going to take left action, which is also to incubate. Not that it needs to, but it certainly will. Here we go. Incubation. Boom. Done. Blackbot's turn. It's taking the right action, which is digging. So it does have a digger ant, and it will enhance it with another. So it discards these to take a strength 2 dig action, places this room out, and it has achieved its completed area star token. So place that on the board. We're getting closer. It's going to accelerate real fast. And on the... Ooh! Don't forget those cards. Okay, I remembered this time. Almost a little too late. And it places an ant on its incubation tile. Where? The middle region, which is exploring. Hopefully you're following this. Red bot takes the left action, which is playing 2 cards. Oh, this is definitely enough cards for a deed, right? Yep. So it's taking, so it has 5 deeds. Remember, bot has 1 deed for every 2 cards. Any types it has. That's why I'm keeping these face down, because it really doesn't care what types they are. And it places its next action, or star token, almost the end of the game. Black going to play a card. Oh God. Where did that go? Play a card and defeat an enemy. So, takes a card. How many does it have? Oh, it has 3 deeds. I told you it was accelerating. And it's going to defeat an enemy. It can defeat any enemy because it has placed star tokens out. So, what are its options? Well, it could defeat any of these. It could defeat this. It could defeat any of them, actually. So, what's the tiebreaker? Uppermost one, another tie. These are both the uppermost enemies. So we break it with the smaller arrow, which is right. So it's going to defeat this enemy instead. Just takes it, collects it for points. Oh, and then 2 steps up the nuptial flight track. Boom, boom. Here we go. Red bot's turn. We're getting close to the end. Plays 2 cards. That's a lot of cards, man. This guy's going ham on cards. So that's 6 deeds, basically. Black bot's turn. Left action card, which is foraging. So it's going to forage +1 because it is enhancing. So 2 of these. Wants to get the most resources that it possibly can. Well, there's only 1 hex with resources on it. So it could be any of these, but remember the secondary tiebreaker is touching the most spaces, touching the most hexes. So if you look at this, this is touching 2, touches 1, touches 1, touches 2, touches 3. So there's only one option here. It takes that. Next one, only one option because that's the only one that's going to get it a resource, which is right there. Clears that hex, which means it places out its pheromone, and that is its 4th. Not quite enough. Not quite enough. Which one is this? Orange. Oh! takes a card from the row. I swear, I will never forget this ever again. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right, red bot. I think this might be the end soon. It's foraging. A little too late. It is enhancing this with a strength 3. And there are no resources on the board. And so yeah, it only is going to prioritize now hexes or spaces touching the most hexes. So we have a lot of options here. We have this one, we got this one, this one, oh wait, no, not that one. Yeah, we have a few options. So what is the tiebreaker? The bottommost option, which is strange, but that's okay. So we have 2. This is good. I'm giving you a weird exception here. So this one touches 3. This one touches 3. So one of those 2. What's the secondary tiebreaker? It's doing the rightmost one, which is that one. And yeah, so it only has one other option to place another forager out, which is here. And now here's one of the rules that you'll notice in the rule book, which is what happens if it can't place anymore in the middle of taking an action? Well, it just goes back to its board. And don't forget, it was foraging, and I almost forgot again. Didn't I say I was never going to forget again to discard these cards from the row? And I did. Okay, yeah, so that was unfortunate for the red bot. Left action card for the black bot, which is exploring. Oh yes, this might trigger the end of the game here. So it's exploring, strength 2, because it's not enhancing. So it's going to explore a strength 2 space. Oh wait, no it doesn't, because there is one available here. And ignore that white spot. For some reason this board has an incorrect spot here. So it places it there, does nothing else, but it does get to go up 1 step on the nuptial flight track. It reached a swarming bonus. Let's look at the decision card. It does have a leftward facing arrow, so it will place it there. That's probably a smart move. Red bot's turn. Okay, here we go. Is it going to incubate? No. What is the star that it's placed the most of? Well, it's placed the most deeds, or it's placed the most deed stars. So it's going to play 2 cards. So it plays 2 cards. Is this it? That's 7. Oh, so close. That is so close. Okay, but not close enough. Blackbot's turn. Here we go. Exploring. Here we go. No ants, which means it incubates. Takes the played action cards, shuffles them back up into the deck. Red bot's turn. It is so close to getting this deed star out. Plays an action card. So close. It has 1 away. Defeats an enemy. Can it defeat an enemy? Yes, it can. It can defeat... Oh, it only has 1 option, which is this one. Defeats that enemy. Goes 2 steps up the nuptial flight track. So it has reached a swarming bonus. Will it go to the left? Yes, it will. Wait. Can you go to the same spot? Wait, I don't think you can. Hold on, I need to look this up. I told you, this is an unedited video. I'm not editing this. It would take way too long. Wait, where is it? Where is it? Nuptial flight. What the heck? Hello? Uh-oh, don't tune off yet. Nuptial flight. Where is it? Oh, no. Okay, you know what? Oh, here we go. Advancing on... You cannot have more than 1 disc in the same swarming area. Whew, found it. Great. Okay, so it goes up. Ooh, that was almost a disaster. Okay. And Blackbot's turn. Taking the left action. It is incubating again. Great. Delay the game even more. And red bot. Digging. Okay, it's digging. Value 1. No enhancement. Man, this is just slow rolling it. They are slow rolling it, that's for sure. Blackbot's turn, which is digging. And it's digging at a strength of 2. Oh, wait! I can't go so fast. I need to get the cards. And he places an ant, which is in the middle region, which is exploring. He needs to explore, all right? Same thing over here. Takes the middle action card, or not action card, card from the row. Digs at strength 2, which is a value 2 room. Boom. Starts working on area 2. Places an ant where? In the middle. Boom. Red bot. Foraging. Foraging at a strength of 1. Is there anywhere that it can get resources? No. And it wants to place it on spaces that touch the most hexes. Bottommost one. Man, this guy's obsessed with this area. Takes a foraging card, which is this one. And Blackbot's turn, going left action, which is playing a card. Boom. Defeating an enemy. There are 2 options. Which one? Bottommost option. Takes this. I'm trying to go so fast. Nuptial Flight Track. Beep beep. And yeah. How many deeds does it have? Still only 3. Here we go. It is playing a card. Okay, now this is triggering the end of the game. Plays a card, which is its 8th deed, which places out this final star token. Defeats an enemy. It cannot. And goes 2 steps up the nuptial flight track. Will it be going to the left? Yes, it will, because you look at the card, it shows a leftward facing arrow. And that triggers the end of the game. So we finish this round. Remember, the bot is first player. So we finish this round. So they're playing 2 cards. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. That is 4 deeds. Okay, final turns. Going to explore. That was probably a good choice. So it's exploring at maximum, which is 4. So there are 2 options. Which option does it take? Oh, I forgot to place out those special objects. Whoops. It's going to do the leftmost one because the big arrow shows a left arrow. And so the bot does take these tiles. That is also the only other bonus that it will take. So it will take this special object tile. Now, ignore everything on it. And these are worth 6 points at the end of the game. So you ignore even the point values on them. So you could even just flip it over if it helps you. It's exploring. I forgot to take the card again. And moves 1 step up the nuptial flight, which pretty much does nothing for the bot. And that was its final turn. And black player's turn is special action card. So the special action card, does it have 3 or more ants? Yes. What is the star that it's done the most of? They're all equal. So remember tiebreakers, you look at the arrows. This is a leftward facing arrow, so it's going to do deeds. Plays 2 action cards, which is its 5th. It does end up playing a star out. And that is it. That is the end of the game, and now we can score. Oh boy, here we go. Bot reference card. Bot's final score. Victory points from stars obtained like normal. So, it gets 24 points for its stars. So, red bot's 24 up. Black bot, 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 points. Here we go. Next, victory point from swarms on the nuptial flight track like normal. So, black bot gets 7 points and the red bot gets 6. So pretty close, actually. 7 and 6. Then 2 points per card it has. So you ignore the values of the cards, just like I said before. And it gets 2 points per card. That's a lot of cards. That's 32 points. Big points for red bot on that. Black bot gets 11 times 2, which is 22. So a little bit more than what a player would get, but there's got to be a way for the bot to generate points, essentially, for you to beat it. And cards and collected resources are the 2 main ways that it's going to score its points, along with the star tokens, obviously. Next criteria, 1 point per defeated enemy. So again, you're ignoring everything about enemies besides they just get 1 point. So 2 points for red bot and 3 points for the black bot. Next criteria, 6 points per collected special object tile. Well, red bot did get one of those, so I think the red bot has definitely caught up to the black bot in terms of points. Next, 0 points for production. So as I've said during setup, they don't place their cubes on the production. They just kind of cover up these spaces, so they don't get any points for production. Then 1 point per remaining ant disc on its incubation tile. Red bot gets 2 points. Black bot gets 5. Then additionally, it scores 1 point per collected resource cube. So final thing, red bot gets 7. Black bot gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'll see. Here we go. Math. 30, 62, 64. Wait, yeah. 30, 62, 64, 79. Big score for this game. I think the reason why is it lasted so long. So, I mean, just like in a regular game, if you elongate the game, you'd have more opportunities to score points. So, big score. 18 plus 7, 25, 47, 50, 66 for the black bot. So, big win for the red. They really, at the last minute, just dominated with cards and getting this special object tile. But yeah, there you go. So that's how the bot works. I hope this made sense. I tried to go fast, and I tried to keep some situations, describe some situations as they occurred. And I apologize for forgetting to take these cards from the rows. That's just something that this game has, where it's sometimes easy to forget to do that when you take an N action. But of course you won't forget. You won't forget. I just forgot. I forget so that way you don't forget. But anyways, there you go. Here's this video, unedited. Hopefully it wasn't too rough, and it gives you an idea of how this bot runs. So thanks for watching. Bye.